Kevin here is my name from Trillick Auto Parts Centre. Just want to welcome everybody here today because without you here organising events like this here, couldn't be done. So I just want to, if I haven't talked to everybody today, it's hard to meet everybody and talk to everybody, but I really, really mean it from myself and Gemma and all the staff here at Trillick Auto Parts. A warm welcome to everybody here. So I'm going to start off here. Welcome all the speakers here as well for this podcast we're doing. So over here we've got Steve, which is a Terrafirma specialist with the company Allmix over in England. And without this man here, obviously we wouldn't be getting any parts. We couldn't do any of this. Mathew Cathcart here from Enniskillen. Mathew's big into off-road and Landrovers as well, and has a lot of social media content, which is a big help to us as well. Richard from the main dealers in Dungannon. Main dealers, everybody thinks we're in opposition to main dealers, and main dealers is in opposition to us. That's not the case. A lot of the times we can help each other out, you know, and that's what it's all about when we're involved in this Land Rover game. You know, it's just all about accessing parts and selling parts, and we helping out main dealers and main dealers helping out us, you know. We've Denis C. Ferry. Denis C. Ferry is a very good customer of ours for years from Letterkenny, and Denis is involved in Land Rovers a long time, and also big into the bowler racing. You'll see the Land Rover sitting outside there. So Denis is raced these Land Rovers all over the UK and Ireland, and there's nothing Denis doesn't know about the bowler Land Rover. So we have Ron Neily here. Ron is a Camel Trophy veteran, involved for years and years, long before I was born or knew anything about Land Rover parts. Ron is involved building off-road tracks and Camel Trophy off-roading and all over parts of the world that you couldn't imagine. So it'll be very interesting to chat Ron down the line here as well. And last but not least, Alastair Myers here from Britpart, who is our main supplier of parts and has been since 2007 is when we started off here. So definitely without Alastair and his team behind him in the UK, none of this would be possible at all. So that's all the speakers is here today. At the end of this podcast, there's going to be chances for you, the crowd yourselves, to ask questions. So if you just let us do this flow here at the minute, usually get your turn then to ask the questions then. So Trillick Auto Parts started here in 2007. We'd done our first invoice here on the 7th of June 2007. And it was the help, the man's in the crowd here as well, an uncle of mine, Tommy O'Brien, who, without Tommy and Tommy's knowledge, there's none of this would be here today at all. Tommy worked for 30 years, more than 30 years, in the main dealers up the road here, TP Tappings. And in 2007, Tommy and myself started in here, and that's how Trillick Auto Part Centre got going with the help of Tommy. So it started off 2007, obviously very simple. There's only 1-2 members of staff at that time, and years developed down the line. More people got to know about us, and all over Ireland, bits of the UK, and it's developed into what we have here today. So a big thanks to Tommy at the start, you know. So I'd like to just ask Alastair here beside me. In 2007, Alastair, we started to buy the parts from yourselves, and if you could just let people know what's involved with that there, the stock of parts that you keep, and how we get them over, you know, how the logistics and all works, you know.
Yeah, so Britpart are the leading wholesaler of Land Rover parts in the world now. And basically we've got warehouse in Craven Arms down in Oxford with all makes, and another site in Newtown where we ship everything all over the world. Anything from disc brakes, filter kits, through to your accessories for extreme off-roading expeditions.
Yes.
So in terms of Trillick and other customers like yourselves, we've got weekly banter come over here with anywhere up to sort of 48,000 pallets in stock at the moment.
Yeah.
And to say, ranges from anything from your filters through to extreme off-road accessories.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And a lot of people mightn't be aware, Alastair, Britpart and the company all mix there as well. When I tell people this, you actually would be currently a large holder also of genuine Land Rover spare parts. Isn't that correct?
Yes, we are. Yeah, at the moment it's wearing thin, but yeah, we've got an extensive range of genuine parts, OEM parts as well, and our own range of products. So there's something to suit every budget and every need.
Okay. Yeah, because people there, when they ring us up there, and they automatically think it's all aftermarket parts we do, which is a big part of our game. But I do let them know that Britpart and Allmix are our main suppliers, is a large carrier of the genuine spare parts as well. You know.
Yes, yeah, and it works like yourself. We work very closely with the main dealers. We supply a lot of stuff to them, and they supply a lot of stuff into Britpart as well. It's to meet customer demand and keep these vehicles on the road.
Yeah. Steve, just a question on the Allmix and the Terrafirma brand. You yourself would be you yourself have the knowledge of the Terrafirma brand and the development and the help of the development of that, and bringing in the stock, obviously the fast selling stock that's going to sell, etc. If you could just let the people know here a bit about the Terrafirma brand and Allmix itself as a whole, and the way that yourself and Britpart now has amalgamated together and is running under the one umbrella, basically, isn't that correct?
Yeah, no problem at all. A Terrafirma brand is the accessory brand for all makes. It's been going for years. It was started by Eddie Prescott, who I work with. He's got years of experience. I'm Eddie's support, basically. Terrafirma is always looking to expand its range of products worldwide. We deal with suppliers all over the world. We look at new products. Sometimes we discount them. Other times we think, yeah, we can do something with that. We also deal a lot with the Britpart side of things. We also take on ideas and feedback off our customers as well, and take on board their comments, feedback, criticism. Sometimes, there's room to improve a product, and it's my role is very varied. I'm one minute I'm answering emails from a guy in the Far East, helping him to work out springs for his vehicle, or work out why something hasn't fit into his vehicle. Then we both realise he's possibly done something wrong, and we sort it out. I also help with the warranty side of things.
Yes.
And if I can help somebody, I'll always do it. We sometimes get parts that are damaged in the warehouse for us, so I'll strip those down. I'll keep as wide a range of spares as possible. Liaising with suppliers all over the world.
Yeah.
It's a very, very varied role.
And what's been involved hands-on in that, and probably your own workshops at Allmix as well too. Being hands-on and involved like that, I think, is a key feature to the like of yourself. So in the like of us as a wholesaler and supplier of your parts and brand, that when we send you the email or something that's not working out, because like ourselves, you specialise in the Terrafirma brand, the Allmix brand, and specialise in the Land Rover. So the like of me asking you the question and sending you the email, you know you're going to get the answer back.
Definitely.
That you're looking for, and then that leaves us that we can help the customer then, let it be at the bottom of Ireland or wherever, and I think that's when you specialise.
Definitely, and I think the customer support, both to yourselves and the end user, is crucial to us, all makes and Britpart as well. If you don't provide that service, people aren't going to have any confidence in you.
The knock-on effect will come back down the lane. So I think till our success with having two big suppliers like yourselves, and when we're dealing with people all over Ireland, and since 2007 to now, like, we have become unbelievable busy. We never thought the day and hour that myself and Tommy opened up here in 2007 that it would ever develop into what it is today, you know, because we have got serious busy, but I think we wouldn't be busy. You could sell parts, anybody could sell parts and do all that there, but I'm just trying to say, if you haven't got the backup behind you, it's impossible to do, like, you know.
Definitely. We hear that from a lot of our customers as well.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, we have a lot of support from the Britpart side of things as well. And it is, as you stated earlier, it's all about helping one another, working together. There's no point being at one another's throats, trying to discount things against other people, working together. And if I can provide help, and it's the same with Eddie, and I can pretty much say it's the same for the rest of the all make sales teams as well. If they're asked a question, if they don't know the answer, they forward it on to me, Eddie, and we'll always come back.
You'll find someone that does know the answer and has been there before. Nick.
Yeah.
And you touched on before, sometimes, and our sales can receive it here too, like you send a part out, you can get a bit of criticism over the part. Then when that happens, obviously the feedback goes back to yourselves, and then without a doubt, because we've seen it over the years, there's more development goes into them parts maybe, and things do get better and better as the years progress, you know.
Absolutely. You know, there's sometimes somebody has a different perspective on a part,
Yeah.
but we hadn't thought, or they want to try and modify or fit it in a different way. And if we can receive feedback that's well worded, photos as well are always helpful. If we can incorporate something into a redesign of a product for the next batch, we will always try to do so.
Yeah.
And it's good to receive genuine, honest feedback from our customers.
Because that's how you
Improves
improve
the
it.
Improves the product. It makes it easier for you guys to sell.
It does. It leaves it easier at our end then when we're receiving the calls and the high volume of calls, that we can get the answers, relay it back to the customers, and 99.9% of the time we can get it sorted out. And if another part needs to go out in another part's place, we can do that. On to yourself, Richard. Richard is from Donnellys, main dealer's background in Dungannon here, our local main Landrover dealer. What have you seen over the years, Richard, like from the Landrovers and the way that the parts system and all works years ago to where it is now? How do you feel? How do you feel yourself, the way that everything's developing and the way that it's going at the moment?
I suppose one of the biggest changes is the complexity and the breadth of the parts, because you turn the clock back a number of years, you had a number of platforms that were sharing engines, transmissions, suspensions. The range of parts that were required was much narrower.
Yeah.
Today, there's an awful lot of complexity. There's a lot of differentiation. And we live in a scenario of, most main dealers will carry, small volumes, a week's worth of stock, which are normally working on next day deliveries.
Yes.
So the actual stock holdings are reducing, but they're bred for increasing. That presents challenges with the manufacturers because they're dealing with a wider range of suppliers as well.
Yes.
The automation side of it, everything now is electronic parts catalogs,
Yeah.
Integration into the workshops. But ultimately, it's a part. There's a customer at the end.
There is.
The quality of the part, is synonymous with the brand.
Yes.
Doesn't mean sometimes we don't have a problem, but as you said earlier, it's how we deal with it.
Yeah.
It's the backup.
The backups there, yes, from the main dealer. You have the Landrover support, which is good too. And I know there's you mentioned there that the main dealers nowadays don't have to carry as large a volumes of stock as what they would have had done, say, even 10 years ago, because the logistics have improved so much. And like with ordering a part there with some main dealers, and even up to 3 o'clock in the day, you can have your part delivered over from the UK to Ireland, which I find is it's unbelievable. With the logistics behind that must be unbelievable, you know.
It's you know, we same as most main luxury manufacturers, we have a daily delivery coming out of England.
Yeah.
Coming over in the early morning boat, decanted in Belfast, and then split comes down the road and with our appointed courier.
Yeah.
And it's usually with us by sort of 8:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
You know, that was leaving the factory warehouse at 2-3 in the morning.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. And when people rings up there and anybody is ringing for a part, obviously wants the part yesterday. But when you can get the part, I think when you do them orders up to 3 o'clock in the day and to have something on your floor the next morning, basically at 8:30, like I think that service itself, with the Landrover brand is good, you know. And there obviously there has to have a world of work must have gone into the back of that to develop that to where it is today, you know.
It's a massive operation. Landrover in the last number of years have opened the largest warehouse in the world for automotive industry. It's called Mercia. It was a 5-year project to build it, and about 4 years prior to that to plan it. So that's been open now about 2 years. And that warehouse feeds the entire global parts distribution, not just the UK or Europe, but it then feeds into the global warehouses as well. So its stock holding is enormous.
Yeah. And Richard, there'll be people sitting down here in the audience and customer of ours asking the question, and this is not a negative question for myself because it's affect everybody across the world. It's affect their suppliers, all makes Britpart, and obviously your sales. But the cyber attack in Landrover up in about 3 weeks ago must have had a major impact on not even alone your stock system, probably even the selling of vehicles and everything. And I know this is something that nobody's got control of in today's world, you know. And what way would that have impacted you at the minute or affected you or...
Yeah, it's had quite a dramatic effect because none of the global network has been able to receive parts for about 3 weeks now.
Yeah.
So we're surviving on our stock holdings and our partners, like yourselves.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
We'll be starting to receive limited stocks literally from this weekend forward. Mercia. There's approximately 2,000 staff work in the UK sector of the Mercia warehouse at Landrover. So that's the size of the actual operation. If you can imagine coming in on Monday morning into your parts distribution here, and your computers were completely off.
That would be...
Completely.
Yeah, devastating effect.
So you're now able to probably walk around your parts holding and think, well, I know roughly where that set of brake pads, oil filter, air filter is on the shelves. But now imagine a warehouse that is the size of a football stadium. Yeah. The ceilings are, hundreds of feet high.
Yeah.
Everything is picked by automation, by electric conveyors, electric forklifts, and it's all operated out of a point of sale terminal. And now those screens are blank. So it has taken weeks to put in an alternative system to A, stock hold, and B, now to be able to pick parts. Yeah. Because they cannot, at this moment in time, switch on the original systems yet. They're still being cleansed, I suppose is the word to use.
Yeah.
And the factory is the same. The factory has been closed now coming up in 4 weeks. So there is no production of new vehicles at the moment.
Yeah.
And that's going to be a phased restart. So it's a dramatic
fact, and it probably will, and hopefully we'll get everything up and going now shortly, but it's going to probably have probably an effect maybe for months at least, Richard, to get even vehicle sales and not knowing the parts and get everything pop up again.
The biggest issue with the vehicle sales also with the systems shutting down at the factory, the link between the factory, the retailers, and the DVLA meant that we couldn't register any new cars. So where the cars were physically there in the showroom, the customers were ready to take delivery, there was no way to communicate electronically the chassis data to be able to get the vehicles registered. So over the last couple of weeks, that's been re-engineered. And now, whilst it's slower, the retailers are in a position that we can now register vehicles that we physically have received. So new cars are starting to flow again.
Yeah, well, that's good. That's a plus. And just to really back on when we started here, way back many, many years ago, we never thought ourselves that we would ever be fit to help like a major company in the parts business, like the main dealers yourselves, and other main dealers all over Ireland has been contacting us every day here, 10 times a day, for parts. So Trillick Auto Parts Centre, as a holder of aftermarket and genuine parts, we never thought as a family business that we would be in the position of supplying some main dealers, you know. But again, as what I said before, when time to guess comes and everybody helps each other out, we're helping customers out, and I suppose that's what it's all about at the end of the day.
It is, because ultimately it's all about the customer.
Yeah.
You know, if we have a car needing maintenance, if we have a car that's had a breakdown, ultimately it's about getting it back on the road. And you know, we've got to ensure that if we are sourcing outside of Landrover, preferably it's an original OE part or it's OE specification, and you know, in partnership with somebody like yourself who we know and have a very good relationship with. We know that if it's something we're sourcing from you as well, if it didn't come from us originally, we know it's coming from good quality.
One way or another. Well, thank you very much for that, Richard. Denis, if I could come on to you now, Denis, you have the Bowler Land Rover Defender outside. I'm just thinking, you've got involved now. You're working at Land Rovers obviously all your life. What I'm trying to say is, what is putting you down the road now of racing the Land Rover, the Bowler Land Rover Defender, and what would have took you down that track, you know, is what I'm trying to find out, you know.
I suppose grew up in Donegal. It's a very car-based county.
Yes.
And Raleigh is very big in the county. And as a young boy growing up, no more than young boys grew up there, I like to follow Mathew and social media with his antics and his skill. I was up, there was no iPads in India, so I was sitting at the Landrover magazine and reading up this man.
Yeah.
And what I do, and you mix that along with the Donegal Rally and stuff, you can, and as a mechanic, I work different days all over the world, and come home and open the small enough garage, and with the love of Land Rovers, you can, you grow into it, and to see like some Britpart and Terrafirma here, same boys out of the magazine you're reading, and you're speaking of the way they help you in your business, so you do remember you helped like some Lee in my business.
Yes.
The service you get off these two boys, we were getting off you.
Yeah.
So we were probably we phone you. If we need a park to phone you, and if I phone like Gardaí, like I did in Thursday or something, sitting in the garage floor, maybe 8:45.
So it's all
So we're nothing
basically
off.
fighting from each other, you know. And,
So their service to you
enables
you to provide the service to us.
Exactly.
So it's a massive, it's a roll snowball always there. But I suppose the Bowler came, they had the Wildcat that I was familiar with, and then the new L663 came out, and they developed that. And I suppose there's a point that I could make the move to it and buy the car, and to be off-road man rallying and doing rally race and stuff, just it's a passion, and it worked out good,
And you love it, yes. And I've been watching you as well on the social media stall, and it does look, it looks a brilliant sport, especially when you're in it and you live and breathe it, and then to get to do it is a dream come true, really.
Oh, that's like we've done different. The 14, myself and two other boys took a approached Landrover vehicle. It wasn't possible at the moment because it was in Alaska, and we drove the Ice Road Truckers Road up the Dead Horse.
Yes.
And then we made in a Fabis Defender, and we tried out in the lake and outside Letterkenny, you see the float for a while.
Yes.
So that we hit the bigger seas away. We ended up in Port Patrick in Scotland, crossed the Irish Sea into Donnellys
On the Land Rover.
on the Land Rover. And then the year after in Iceland, I think she wanted some of the glacier.
Yes.
So we took her and we worked along with electric trucks and we got a defender of them and we ended up in the baseline. So
Amazing.
all there's Land Rovers in the background all the time.
Land Rover in the background all the time, yes. And that's living and breathing Land Rover, a big thing, that. So this is where I want to come on to a good friend of mine now too over the years, Ron Neily. Ron has been involved in Camel Trophy, and I've seen him. He has been talking to Denis this morning, and I suppose, Ron, back many years ago, when you started out with the Camel Trophy and organised and building off-road Land Rover tracks, could you explain a bit of that there? What that was back in the day, what vehicles you were using compared to the vehicles what they'd be using today if they were going to do that job?
Well, to be honest, there's not much difference between the vehicles then and now. But how I got started really was getting involved with Camel Trophy, which I didn't even know about in '89. In 1990, I was doing an event in Siberia, which is like a 1,000-mile route, and of course. I don't have to tell you, in Siberia and Mongolia, you don't have any roads. So the 1,000-mile routes was through really rough terrain. And what impressed me more than anything else was how reliable these cars were. I know that doesn't fit you if the cars are reliable, but
We need to be selling carts for all.
I mean, to be honest,
Back in the day, probably.
back in the day, then, like, we were using the vehicles to their maximum. Like, we were driving them flat out everywhere we went. Over that 1,000-mile rough terrain. I just fell in love with Land Rovers, end of story.
That was the start of it.
That was the start of it,
Yeah. And what do you think today, Ron? Like when you'd have been away with your team of Land Rovers at that time, like heading away today to do that job today, I don't think the ordinary toolbox would be much good today to the vehicles on the road today. If you could just tell the people, what would have been involved and what you needed them many years ago heading away compared to Denis, if you were heading away racing to the UK with your Bowler Land Rover, obviously there's different tools and different skills involved there.
Well, basics was to carry spares. The whole idea was spare tanks built into the Land Rovers, a spare tank on the other side of the car.
Yeah.
Plus we had like 4 jerry cans full of fuel on the roof because there's no petrol stations where we were going.
In the junk.
Plus all our food, 2 spare wheels, half a dozen spare tubes. That sort of equipment you had to carry with us.
So you use basically, and how long, Ron, when you were going to do that, like the 1,000-mile off-road thing with the Camel Trophy, how long would that have taken, say from start to finish, from trail scale?
For us to set up the route, it took about 2 months.
Just set it up.
Just to, to make sure that we had everything documented properly for the participants.
Yes.
And along the way, what we done was we set up what was known as special tasks.
Yes.
And a special task would be equivalent to a special stage
On a rally. Yeah.
And each of those special tasks would have been maybe 20 miles long. And we would have set up 20 or 25 of those tasks.
Yes.
So with a 1,000-mile route, half of it was against the clock. In other words, half of it was competitive.
Yes.
So we let the guys off at 5-minute intervals, so they weren't hopefully not catching each other.
Yeah.
So that's how that was worked. And of course, the guy with the shortest time, same as a rally, was the winner of that section.
Yeah.
Then the overall guy was picked from the best times throughout 20 or 25 special tasks.
Yeah, unbelievable. And again, I'd say, Ron, the experience of all that there many years ago, like, it's something that you'd never forget, like.
Oh, I definitely never forget. And we just had a reunion there last weekend, believe it or not, over at East North Castle, which is Landrover test ground.
Of all the people that was involved many years ago.
Correct. And I hadn't seen the guys for like 35 years.
Yeah.
And it was just the same as
Same
I was saying on it yesterday. Camaraderie was something else.
Yeah. And that is just back to you touching on that there, the racing and the off-roading and where the Land Rovers the way they've developed and all today. So obviously if you were heading away to the UK to do your race or to do your rally in the Bowler Land Rover today, obviously you'd need to know, number one, the mechanics of the vehicle, what you're at, and bringing an ordinary toolbox to work on them vehicles out there I don't think would work too well. What would have happened and got away with years ago.
To a point, but like a front arm still a front arm, still then with 2 bolts, a ball joint still a ball joint.
Yeah.
You know, if the brake caliper breaks off, you need to compensate for that.
Yeah.
You know, so certainly there's a lot more electronics.
Yeah.
But when that vehicle's in bowler mode, it switches off all the traction control, ABS, all that is eliminated through the ECU. So you have to worry with that. But you're still, like a gearbox, still got gears in it. An engine still got pistons. And if it breaks, it needs fixed.
Yeah.
So when we went away with Bowler, the Bowler's going through a change at the moment. JLR's took over and they've developed now, they're doing Dakar. With 3 works drivers, which is amazing. To think that Land Rovers will be doing Dakar. And they developed it, took the Octa, they took it and they developed into like a T2 car to the level it is now. Dakar's 19 days, and it's the pinnacle of off-roading. So to go to the event, they had we had a tech designated to you. Which I'd be stuck under the car myself because you feel that only you can do it. But it's still the same basics. Like the cars to steer, the cars to handle. If you bust a shock, you chase a shock. And there's no longer the endurance. Iceland there was 900 kilometers, whatever it was. And if you're hitting the ash and the flint and you bust a tire or you break something off the car, you fly under it and fix it. There's still spanners.
Basically, things be that different, but it's just back to carrying the spares or having the spares with it.
It is
Obviously, when you go to do them, these tasks and that is preparation is key.
It is, and I suppose selecting your navigator, and there's a lot more navigating than just reading pace notes or road books or tulips. There's the relationship you have to have with the person. If something happens, the first thing you don't do is fall to each other. It's the car's at fault. So, and if somebody makes a mistake, it's a mistake. You get over it, and so you know yourself. It's a complete endurance. And being sensible enough to know that things go wrong, but things go wrong to other people as well. And it's just dealing with it and enjoying it.
Do you know that sounds very like your navigator or to have a good navigator you're talking that? That sounds like store mate in a shop. If someone ranks me, I don't know everything, and if somebody, and it's having that guy in your team and having them people to shout over, can you help me here to find this part? It's the same thing, So it's like having storemen in the shop here and having good guys leaves us probably successful in how busy and relying on people the calls, because we help. It's just basically helping each other out, us helping each other out. Mathew captured here a local Land Rover and has a local Land Rover man is driving Land Rovers, Mathew, from a very early age. And Mathew also is into ATV, quad biking. I could go on with other stuff. I've seen him in the social media group too. I've seen him keep out a lot more, dripping around your lawn and stuff. But Mathew, how long are you driving Land Rovers? And I suppose what I want to ask, what got you interested in Land Rovers? And that's the question I want to ask you today, maybe. And what got you into the successful social media content that you have at the moment,
Well, I've come on here today, and thanks for having me, Kevin.
No problem.
Great to meet all you fellas. But the paws are a wee bit sweaty here now, and I'm sitting up looking at. But anyway, what got me into Land Rovers? my grandfather would had one of the very first Landrovers, and there was a good story behind that. He was going up a mountain in Derrygolney, and he's probably one of the first men with these, you know, now Land Rover. Like,
Yes.
everybody's kind of thought they were kind of rare looking machine. There's a few boys sitting up in the back anyway, and they end up going up this out mountain road anyway, and
Yeah.
they all got terrified and all bailed out of the back of her and thought he was a complete madman carrying on in this shit.
That by the way where you got the smug out in Mathew.
Probably where it came from, all right. And then, you know, from that, my father, he had Land Rovers from the early years, and they were at some rally at one stage, and they were spectating, and somehow they ended up renting one of the very first Range Rovers.
Yes.
And they were driving it down the road, and they're sitting up with the boys, and they're saying, you know, this is an awful hen house. This shows she's wild rowy old machine. Like, who would ever want one of these?
Yeah.
And by the time the weekend was done, when they were on the way home again, they had to get one bought then.
They loved the
Fell in love with them then, so that,
Yeah.
and ever since that, Landrover never left the house then, so it didn't.
Yeah, yeah. I suppose that probably that event that they were all away on years ago, and they seen what the Land Rover could do.
Oh, aye.
I suppose I'm not knocking other vehicles or something like that, or other brands they got there, but the Land Rovers, in fairness, many today and many years ago, both on road and off road at fields and with farmers and with different people, they can definitely go places, I think, where other brands of vehicles wouldn't go so well.
100%. And like, just the fact that you can bail up through a field and up a couple of lanes and down into the river, like, you could go to places to spectate a rally that you could never get in a car or van or such like that. And like, even till today, with Richard, my older brother, and a couple of friends, we head up to the RSC rally, and it's the same old idea, bringing out a Defender across 110, and we cruise for miles where we see nobody to get to this stage, and we end up nearly on the stage itself.
Yes,
But like, the places you can go on them, and you're not that worried about the look and
No, and
tear all.
up through a field of rough fields and you got there, the Land Rover, you know you're going to get there. It's not going to be a problem. Like.
That's it. And I suppose where I started in the Land Rovers, my father bought me a Series 2 here. Exact same as that machine there.
Yeah,
I was 12 years old and came out to the street on my birthday, and like, I was a lucky man to get this out Land Rover. Like,
yeah.
12 years old, came out and looked at it and goes, what kind of thing is that? Like, I can't drive that.
I know.
It was only a wee hub. So came around, looked at that, and he goes, what do you think of that, Matt? And I was going, hi. Didn't know what to really think of it. End up had to put a CB aerial out in the front bumper off her to try and judge the distance of her, because I couldn't see it over the steering wheel. They went back into the house into my mother to get a big cushion out of the sofa so I could sit on that seat. That was my first experience with Land Rovers.
Yeah.
And then with Richard, my older brother, he was always driving a Defender then. It was probably a 300 TDI back then, or a TD5.
Yeah.
And I used to be watching him. He used to do the left foot braking,
Yeah.
practicing for the rallying. He used to be up in the snow on the left foot brake and setting them out sideways. And then I ended up carrying on that as well. So
Aye, because as you see in your social medias there, getting the Land Rovers into drifts isn't that simple sometimes, but you seem to have mastered
it's a bit sketchy sitting up now looking over the steering wheel. Sometimes you don't know where you're going to end up, but
You need a bit of
usually the elbow now you have to get the driver's window down. When you get the opposite lock on there, it's a bit of an issue, like, but
Very good. And your social media as well, a lot of followers on that there as well, and people watching it.
aye, it's growing well. Instagram's doing well. TikTok no longer on that. Can't say why. Seem I'm a very dangerous fella, but I don't know.
Yeah.
But no, it's going well. A few brands looking to work with me there at the minute, so
Good.
kind of started and put up a video or two, and I thought it was just a bit of fun. We used to go out in the Hondas, and it was a day that a Saturday thing. We'd go out for a slide. And now it's become this massive following background of it, and everybody loves the Honda. And yeah, it's growing well. So I'll try and work with a few brands now in the future, and
Brilliant.
there's a few
And all
projects.
upwards for that, Mathew.
A few projects on the way. So
Good. Well, everybody that's following it, we'll all keep an eye out for that part too. And that's brilliant. If I could just, Richard, go back to you. Actually, probably everybody here can get involved in this one. Land Rover there at the moment now is bringing the vehicles. Everything's obviously heading to electric based, and look, maybe we're not getting there as fast as what people thinks. At the development Land Rover's at the minute, Richard, how do you think it is, and how long more do you think is it going to be until they get to where they want to be, basically, with the electric vehicles at the moment?
Well, Land Rover's electrification program it's constantly evolving and ongoing. So the market's made up of three things: mild hybrids, which are MHEVs, full plug-in hybrids, which are PHEVs, and your battery vehicle, which is a BHEV.
Yes.
So mild hybrid and plug-in hybrids we have today. They're part of our model lineup. They're what we sell, maintain. They're being used every day. They've been used very successfully. It's interesting. To the end of August, the UK registration figures that are released by the SSMT, the plug-in hybrid sector is up over 30% in the UK, and that's across all brands. Electric's only up 9%, and petrol and diesel are back to nearly 30%. So the public are moving towards plug-in hybrids,
Yes.
and it's probably the, for most people, a more viable option than pure electric, because plug-in hybrids have become so efficient, reliable, and they're giving you the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
Now, electrification is still there, and obviously, as an industry, as government, as markets, we're being pushed towards electric platforms. And the technology's there. Range Rover Electric will be our first full electric product. The prototype is out, being used, being driven by motoring journalists. It's in the press. It's highly competent. The vehicle is the first to use the new 800 volt architecture, whereas today most of our electric platforms are 400 volt. Range is estimated, and again, there's no confirmed figures, but the figure they're discussing is in the region of 300 miles. And with the 800 volt architecture, where the charging facility is available, the car can accept up to 350 kilowatt direct charging, which would give you a 0 to 80% charge time in the region of 30 to 45 minutes.
Okay.
One of the things that's interesting coming back from the motoring journalists are experiencing the vehicle is that the electric vehicles off-road are presenting a new dynamic in that they are more competent than a petrol or diesel version vehicle. And the reason for that is that with the electric vehicle, you have 100% of your torque available instantly. So with the new software that's controlling the car's traction, stability, yaw control, all of that, with the electric version, it can adapt 100 times quicker than it can with a petrol or diesel version. And it's interesting, all the motoring journalists that have been exposed and are allowed to test the vehicle are all acknowledging that the vehicle is unbelievably controllable in off-road situations, because you're not building up momentum, you're not sort of waiting for power delivery from the engine. It's instant, literally instant. And that's, it's a side of this that sort of wasn't expected or wasn't people weren't aware of. So electric's coming, but plug-in hybrid really is where we are today. And, there's another YouTuber, Harry Metcalf, who runs a very good channel, Harry's Garage. He recently did an interview on his Range Rover Sport plug-in hybrid. One of the interesting things was, over 7,000 miles, he's averaging over 70 miles to the gallon, including about 30% towing. And of the 7,000 miles, he's done nearly 4,000 of them in electric. And that's the real life reality of it all. So plug-in hybrid really, it's not a fad. It's not something that's a bit unique. It is actually a very, very practical, everyday way to have best of both worlds. Electric, ICE. The likes of our Range Rover Sports are giving you a real life mileage of about 50 miles off full charge, which for a lot of people is more than enough for a day's commuting, school runs, go to the office. You're back home, you're charging on your own charger, or you're charging at your office. We have customers, for example, that regularly will come up between services and genuinely are still running on the same tank of fuel from sold them a year earlier.
Unbelievable.
That's really the real side of electrification.
Dennis, for 100% instant power, this could be maybe something you when you're at the.
It is, is it?
You know, it's. I'm not taking off fast, Dennis.
Well, I am.
But maybe something down the line that.
But if you've drove any electric car, like they're the torque is there.
Yeah.
And there's no delay in changing gear. There's no gear. You're some with it.
Sensible.
Your bowler's 380, 400 horsepower. The Range Rover electric, when she comes to market, we're expecting the first deliveries next year.
Yeah.
That car's 540 horsepower.
So what torque?
Mathew.
Someone would maybe 650, 700 new torque.
Should take the drawbar out of the trailer.
Yeah, but I suppose electric cars, it is common, but the infrastructure to me is a bit of a problem.
Yeah.
The charging of the cars, but there's a market for it. Like you wouldn't take a very small city car on the trips you've done.
Oh no.
Right, so there's a market for it. And the person's going to school runs or the shops that does, as you say, 30, 40 miles a day. Why wouldn't it be electric? Yeah, of course. Yes. And to a lot of people, a car is a form of transport. It's not like a passion. So if it helps the environment, and it also makes the job easier for them, and it's quieter and stuff.
And probably, it's probably going to be years down the line, as you say, there's a lot of infrastructure the government had to get into place and stuff. But it's probably something down the line when that's all sorted that we will be seeing more of. Like. Well, Alastair, back to you this one, and Steve probably as well. The electric cars coming down the line now, and the parts that we're used to selling here every day for the diesel, mostly in the petrol engines, and from the 1960s, 70s up to the present days, 25 vehicles, that we're not just selling accessories, but everyday running parts. We're selling engine components, filters, all that there. You, as wholesalers, where can you see your market? Are you going to be affected in the next 10 to 15 years? Maybe not, because there's going to be so much of these vehicles, like the Series 3s and Series 2s, still on the road, but we're servicing parts for every day of the week anyway.
Where Britpart comes in is we sort of look at the vehicles as they're coming out of warranty. So we will keep up with the trend. We will follow the electric vehicles and the hybrids, because that's what customer demands is. But we will also look at, with Terrafirma and all, makes the accessory ranges as well.
Yeah.
A lot of people thought when the new Defender came out that it was sort of a plastic toy and they couldn't do anything with it. Denis has proved that you can do a lot more with it, and the vehicles out there today show that you can put your roof tents on, your awnings.
Yeah.
So there's a lot that can be done with these vehicles, and it's how we keep up with it and capitalise on that.
And just as suppose it's just like anything, I suppose nothing ever stays the same. No matter what market you're in, and you guys know that yourselves inside out. And it's just as suppose as specialists in the game of the Landrover game that you know inside out. It's just adopting as opposed to whenever market's there. And there will be parts of the world where probably the electric vehicles won't be evolving as much as other parts of the world. So see, there's going to be hard components, diesel parts and all that's going to be needed for, I think myself, for a long time yet to come.
Absolutely, 100%. These guys mentioned earlier, the infrastructure is the most important thing. Without the infrastructure, it's pointless, and other parts of the world are going to take a long time to actually catch up with the UK and Europe and the USA. Diesel and petrol parts will be required for years, absolutely, and that's going to vary around the world when full-on battery vehicles take over from ICE vehicles. What we have in the UK probably lags behind some of our European nations, but we're also far ahead of more third world countries. So we aren't going to be changing or getting rid of our engine oil filters and all this sort of thing for many years to come.
Well, that brings a smile to my face. So I think we're going to be selling parts here. Landrover Parts at Trillick Auto Parts Centre for a considerable long time with the help of yourselves, obviously. And I think this is the first podcast we've ever done here at Trillick Auto Parts Centre. I have to say I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed sitting here with all you guys, legends in the Land Rover game. And I just want to, from all the staff here at Trillick Auto Parts, my wife Gemma and the family here, I want to say a massive thank you to everybody who attended here today for the podcast now. And I think we're going to open up the stage, or open up the audience here now till anybody wants to ask a few questions here now for the panel. Is are all welcome. And again, just a big thank you everybody here today just for the podcast.
There you go.
That didn't go too bad. So is there anybody in the audience there now would like to, when they have the panel here today, any questions? Any questions? A good question. Where's Connor? Connor, you couldn't get my discovery too to go out over the wee rock lake. Maybe you want to ask Ron Neily how to do that.
Aye, Ron, you're definitely going to have to go and show that.
Hey, our Landrover my part in the frost.
And the frost.
Yeah, we bought the frost.
And yours is a Series 3 2.4 petrol, is that right?
Right.
Anybody here on the panel would have experienced the 2.25 petrels in the frosty mornings, not starting and stuff now? That's the way beyond me. That is, anybody would have a few maybe wee suggestions for that in the panel here, maybe?
Blowtorch. Blowtorch.
Oh, sorry, gents.
Sonny, yeah, Doc Connor. And she's, in what way is she not starting? Like, is she turning over or not? Oh, she's slipping. There's some traction then.
Just all over the place. Yes.
Well, I'd like that, so
Keep a toe on her.
Denis says to keep the toe on her, but
There you go.
maybe keep another Land Rover in front of her, maybe just in case. Boys, thanks for your questions. Thanks for your time. And there's loads of clay pigeon shooting going on here now for another few minutes here today. And again, I just want to thank everybody that made the effort to come here today. And as I say, without you being here, none of this would have been possible. And thanks again.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Land Rover green.